Yes, welcome back, guys. It's just myself and Stephen here, Scottish Property Podcast, wrap up of 2025.
Oh, what a year it's been, mate. What a year it's been.
Brilliant.
Plenty of ups, plenty of downs.
We thought we'd take this time just to kind of have a wee look back, obviously look at our podcast experience over the last 12 months. We've done a lot. We've spoken to a lot of people. Yeah. We took it on tour to Dubai. And also looking back at our own businesses as well, a wee bit of self-reflection. Use this as a therapy session, Stephen.
Oh, sounds good, mate. Sounds like I need it.
And also, we're going to announce a winner to our prize competition. We've got a prize to give away at the end. So Spotify did this thing. It was the wrap-up. And it gives you...
Yeah, it gives you your absolute listens. And we kept getting a lot of people tagging us and showing how much they'd listened to the podcast and match. I really loved the support. So we thought, well, why not make a little competition and encourage more people to do it? And some people must have sad lives if they spend that much time listening to us, but thank you very much for the support.
So we will announce that at the end. Stay tuned to find out what the prize is as well. Oh. Hopefully you won't be disappointed. That's a big...
And how about we go for our predictions for 2026, what the market's looking like, what the government will throw at us.
We'll do that as well. Potential ADS rise in the Scottish budget. No, please don't. Not more tax. We're paying enough tax. Right, okay, let's get going then, right? So we'll just dive right in then. Favourite guest interviews of the year. Can you pick one and I'll pick one?
Oh, I'll probably end up going with like my popular ones in my head are the ones I enjoy speaking to, people that I love seeing scale. So obviously your kind of popular guys like you and Dudding was a great interview. Callum White when we went to Dubai. Chris DL was a fantastic guest as well. But I think my favourite one is probably the bit of the diversion away from property and probably Willie Thompson's story on how he built up his milk business to turn over, what was it, 6 million, and obviously exit, and now he's into his property investing. So I like hearing people's stories from humble beginnings to making some kind of success. So that
the milkman,
that's probably the one that's standing out the most to me right now.
He's good. Willie was brilliant. To be fair, this is what's been brilliant about maintaining that consistency over the last 12 months and putting an episode out every single week. So that's be 52 episodes there. And I don't know how many guests, 'cause some of them were maybe just us two catching up, but we've spoken to a lot of people. Do you know what I've been really enjoying is, like, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I like to dive into people's kind of backgrounds a little bit more and find out a bit more about their life story as well, and their upbringings and where they came from and stuff like that, because I don't know, I'm getting a bit fed up talking about just property deals and stuff like that.
It's the more the people behind the property, isn't it? People behind the business, people behind the social media account. And it's funny you say that because I was catching up with Emma Watson we had on, was it this year or last year?
That was probably last year.
And she went down south to a popular podcast to go on a podcast, and she kind of compared it to us, and she says that ours was so much better. And I do think it was your questioning of asking about our backstory and our life and
the motivation.
What motivates her, what drives her to grow her business on her social media channel. And she did say that she enjoyed that part of the conversation. So that
is one common trait we've found in quite a few guests, is there's usually been that turning point in their life, hasn't there, through some sort of trauma or grief or something like that, which has made them sort of really sort of sit back and think, what the fuck am I doing here? Fancy making £1,500 for sending a WhatsApp? Let's take a wee break to talk about referring sellers to John and Lewis at Prime Property Auctions. The boys have paid out over £350,000 in referral fees. Myself and Stephen have both done it, and it couldn't be easier.
If you know someone selling a property, the guys will pay you £1,500 or 1% of the sale price, whatever is higher, just for passing their details. Doesn't matter if the seller is already on with an agent or not, as long as you're in direct contact with the seller, just drop the guys a message and they'll do everything from the first call to getting the property sold. If you know someone might be looking to sell or struggling to get the result with their own agent, go to the link in the show notes and send them a message now.
Like,
it's quite interesting from us, from that point of view, sitting and speaking to people, because you do get the opportunity to have conversations with people that you wouldn't normally get to have the chance to have a chat with them. So to try and pick stuff and dissect stuff, and it just shows you that people from all walks of life can have a successful property business. And there's all the guests we've had on this year they've done it, grown it. You know, so it is good to see, and like you say, that sometimes that thing that comes up all the time is that trauma in people's lives that trigger them to go, I need to make a change. This is the 9 to 5 is almost not for me.
Yeah, and people are coming into the studio and they're really opening up to us as well. So we hugely appreciate that. It's not easy, you know, and we've been doing it 6 years, you know, and it's still not easy for us. So for people to come in here on the brand new podcast and open up about their lives, and sometimes we're going into like really personal circumstances.
I think we don't actually appreciate as well how difficult it is, because obviously we've been doing it for 6 years, and then even the last few years I've been in the studio at G4 Studios in Wishaw. Like, it's more intimidating when you see the cameras. Obviously this goes on YouTube now as well. When they come into it, they kind of feel that bit more, oh fucking, and the last umpteen guests we've had have kind of said how nervous they are. Like, I remember Scott McFarlane saying how much he was crapping himself, going, he says, I'm never like this with nothing in my life. And you know, when he shared his great story of how much he went through, he says, well, fucking hell, like, this made me nervous. And you don't really appreciate that it is just an informal chat, and you know, it's nice that they actually open up and share their story.
I like seeing I mean, we're old now, right, mate? We're old, over 40. So
what are you on about, mate? You're a Zara model now.
This is the same outfit I had on for that photo shoot the other day. So the first time I've been at shops in 2 years, mate. And then I went there last night to take some stuff back. So I could see when I go into a shop, right, I just grab loads of stuff, and then I'm like, the quicker I can get out of here, the better. Then obviously you get home and like half it doesn't fit. So I had to take my returns back last night, and I'm in that Zara queue for the returns, and there's a woman in there kicking off, man. She is kicking off. Like, she's taking back this top that had, like, the dye had come out of it, and it went onto this expensive jacket of hers, and like, it was just a full-blown argument with the manager, and everyone's sitting back with the popcorn like that. This is hilarious. I felt bad for the managers because she was getting it. Anyway, sorry, we went way off topic there. So back to the top guests.
Who's yours?
I love the young people.
Yeah.
I love getting in the young folk, and that's why I said, you know, as you get, you know, I'm 45 now, and I do feel like I have lost a wee bit of the energy almost to obviously.
Do you not think it's just that you reprioritise what your goals are in life? And obviously maybe in our 20s, 30s, we're probably hungrier and more ambitious. And now you look at it and go, well, actually, I've bought myself back time with this business and this property portfolio.
Absolutely,
why not take advantage of it? Do the school run. You're now a soccer dad now.
Go back 15 years ago, you know, I remember getting in there and doing a lot of the work myself, you know, and sometimes you'd be in there fitting laminate flooring till 3 o'clock in the morning. I can remember it. Do you know what I mean? Just like...
Now you couldn't think of anything worse.
I'm like that. Yeah, I used to remember going into Screwfix and go, all right, this is great. What new power tool can I buy to do this next renovation? You know, now I'm like, just actually getting tradesmen now to go and do a refurb gives me anxiety. So I'm like, I just want an easy life now. Do you know what I mean?
So you one of your favourite guests have been the younger.
Yeah, audience, so 24-year-old Declan McAloney.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think that's how you pronounce the surname. Absolutely brilliant.
Aye.
And I met up with Declan in Starbucks for a coffee, and you know, just a guy that's highly driven.
Just seen that this person that's young.
Yeah.
Actually, my wife did actually say, I did say this to Declan as well. My wife listened to the podcast, and she did actually say, by the way, he reminded me of you, like when you were younger, when you were, because obviously I've been with Kelly since I was in 2021, starting property refurbs constantly, like she goes, he just reminded me of you, like that hunger and that drive.
Aye.
And like you say, I've probably lost it now.
So not only is he building his own, you know, home renovation company, he's also investing in property.
He's assisted sales he's doing, his flips he's doing, he's partnering with some of the other guys that are active in the community as well.
Aye, and he's good in social media as well. So I think, you know, he's going to be definitely one that will do well.
Do you know what I find really interesting about him as well? Like it's that energy to look at new ways of doing things. Like it, you know, to run a trades company is going to be a difficult challenge. Like you're going to be relying on people and tradesmen and obviously having multiple projects in the go. But he's looking at systems and processes and stuff that I would never have looked at years ago at that age. But it's like
honest as well.
Really, really good. Yeah, I think he'll go far.
Obviously, Ewan Durden goes without saying as well. You know, he just keeps on, just
keeps going,
firing them out. You know, I think the latest one I seen
Sauchiehall Street in Glasgow.
Sauchiehall Street, and I think it's like 20. I don't know if it's 28 or something like that. 28 flats or 28 rooms.
It's so good to see, isn't it? It's like this new generation of.
And he's doing all that from Dubai. Do you know what I mean? I think he turned up at like 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning the other day to show people around this new project in Sauchiehall Street. I think he did one of his tours.
Yeah.
So we need to try and get some YouTube content of him on for that reality refurb series that we're doing as well.
Taking a while to go around that, mate.
Aye, but
look back then. Have you got the stats there on who the most downloaded episode was for 2025?
Yes. So the thing is, we've got to kind of split it into two. So we've got our Spotify stats that show all the listens over like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Alexa, and all the rest of it. And then we've got YouTube as well. But just to kind of make it kind of straightforward, Spotify most downloaded, most streamed was the Chris DL.
Oh, of course it would be.
Big Chris.
Nice.
Shout out to Chris, because I think
energy's brilliant.
He's highly entertaining.
Aye.
Number one, right?
His energy's effective.
He's got a lot of charisma, energy. He's funny as fuck, and he's got quite a big following as well, which also helps. So we'll just make him an annual appearance now and just get him lined up annually.
And we're kind of repeating this a little bit in these coming episodes. Like, we've got guests that are now coming back on because they are young. They're people that are still growing and still doing so much in their business. And we'd said that to the you and Dudding this year when we spoke to him in Dubai. It's like he's been on three times maybe, and each one's like this different stage of his portfolio. There's his first 15 properties, now he's up to 50, now he's at 100, and his next time he's going to be at 200 units in his portfolio. It's cool to see the progression, and obviously the regular listeners will be able to listen back to that, follow the journey, but maybe take lessons that they could learn from their own journey. And don't get me wrong, people might not want to grow a portfolio that size, but it's nice to see the stuff he's implementing and the way he's managing his business.
Although I did see the other day, I don't know if it was him, I'm sure he said he was, you know how we always talked about the grunters, and that was his kind of term that he used on the podcast, and everybody caught on to the grunters, and it started becoming a thing. I think he is starting to buy a bit more quality, maybe.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I don't know if he's trying to stay away from the grunters, maybe causing him a bit too much grief now that he's got so many. And you don't really want 200 grunters in your portfolio,
the grunters are great in the portfolio to start with and cut your teeth and understand all the processes in property, but yeah, you kind of want a little bit better stock, don't you?
Yeah, and then on YouTube, so obviously we did a few of the reality refurbs, or I did them.
Yeah,
yet to see your contribution. And if anyone's listening here, because I've been out and done a few that are in the bank and that haven't been released yet, it's just we're trying to get a video editor to go through them and get them up on YouTube. But I think there's maybe there's 3 up there, and the most watched YouTube video of 2025 was Alex Walker at his Broxburn BRR. 20,000 views on YouTube.
Nice.
And
is that the one he said it was going to be a 10 grand refurb or something though?
Aye, but no, I think why it went popular was because he recycled his kitchen at his own house.
Oh, did he? People love that stuff.
He never told me. I spotted it.
Right.
He tried to kid on it. He didn't try to kid on. He just never told me
that's what a 10 grand refurb.
There was a second hand kitchen, and then I'm going round because I've visited before the refurb, then came back after, and I'm going round and I'm filming, and I'm like, is this a second-hand kitchen, Alex? He's like, it's out my own house.
That's brilliant.
So I think people like that. And then second was Callum White, actually.
Nice.
Obviously, big interest in Dubai.
Let's reflect on that, actually, that trip, because as we go back and look at 2025, I mean, that was the first time that we've took the podcast on the road, and we've spoken about it for a couple of years. They thought, right, the hot topic is Dubai. There seem to be a lot of people flocking out there and
tracking down the Scots, all the expats out there.
It was funny though, because when we went, I don't think we spoke to a single person that wasn't Scottish the whole time we were there.
Yeah, we had a lot of meetings. It was really good. A lot of energy out there. Obviously, I went to Dubai twice this year, just to kind of scope it out for the kind of tax purposes, thinking that it does seem like quite attractive. But not for me. What about you?
I the same, went back a second time this year. Probably not for me either.
I don't living in the middle of a desert is just not attractive for me.
I love the cold. I like the scenery. I like green. I like snow as well. Yeah. I think too much heat would just be too much. I'm ginger at the end of the day as well. It's not. I'm not built for a desert.
There's no many gingers around.
No. Be unique out there, right now.
No, that's it. You would stand out. Be good for building a personal brand.
Personal brand in Dubai. The ginger in Dubai. That's my way.
I'm sure there's a few, mate. I'm sure you wouldn't be alone.
But it was good. It was good to see Callum White's business. It was good to see what he's built in such a short period of time as well.
Talking about that, I loved going into his office and seeing that buzz on the kind of sales floor as well, because that hunger, and that's obviously a commission-only estate agency model where people are just out there and they're just going for it. And that kind of drove me want to start up my own estate agency this year. Obviously, we do lets only at the moment, and I've got the plan to do the self-employed estate agency model.
Right.
But and a lot of that was kind of inspiration took from being out there, but we just haven't been able to get it off the ground. It's just a lot of family stuff has happened, and Lisa is doing a degree for therapy at the moment, so she's like, I need to get through this next 6 months.
You're going to need her.
And she's going to need me to pick up the heavy lifting on the family side of things with the kids and all the rest of it. She's like, can you park this estate agency thing for 6 months?
How was I mean, you had a couple of conversations with people, like, how was the same, is there the same buzz, is there the same energy, is there the same drive and passion of people here than there is that we saw in Dubai?
Well, the problem is, people go out there and they get sold the big money, don't they, out in Dubai, you know, and the flash lifestyle. I still think, I know John Lewis from Prime, kind of, remember we had that discussion about the self-employed estate agency, and they were like that, because the sales commission is low, what's going to be your average kind of commission for an estate agent here, about $2,000 or something like that for a house, selling a house here. They were like that, how can that work? You know, giving away 30% to the brokerage.
Yeah.
But I still think you could earn a decent 50, 60k a year comfortably without doing too much work.
Aye, and working around your lifestyle.
Well, that's the key for me. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are they're just getting squeezed in their 9 to 5. And if you could just go into that and even start it on the side, you know, you see, like, there's a guy I follow who's got a really high paying job, but he's building up his estate agency brand on the side. A guy called Alex Anderson, I think it is, social media content first class, but he's got like a really high paying corporate job, but he's building this up on the side. Obviously,
the minute I can give him that bit of income, he'll probably just jack it and go.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. I've only met him once, so I don't know him that well. But I think for people who it is the priority to go and pick their kids up from school and all the rest of it, you know, they can certainly fit something like that around their lifestyle.
And the old estate agency model, I just think it's a bit broken. Like, it's not fit for purpose anymore as well. And there's a bit of flexibility in people's lives, but if you want to view a property and you're working a 9 till 5 and you're not getting any days working from home or you're working away, when are you getting a chance to view a property? Because most agents aren't open for out of working hours. You know, McCune and Fraser were quite popular years ago when they were open till midnight and stuff like that, and could take calls and arrange viewings. But yeah, I think that flexible model. Well,
I think this is where we had a conversation with Davey Hutton about. He said that AI will take over. There will be no estate agents in the future. It'll be all AI and it'll be direct. People just
list it straight on Rightmove.
Yeah, direct to Rightmove, stuff like that. But this is where I think there's the opportunity, because there's, you know, our feeds are going to be full of just AI generated content. So if you're just build a personal brand around a self-employed estate agent, local expert in your niche area, right? Take a small area, even if, I don't know, Dunfermline, like you are that go-to expert in that area and you're standing out from all this other noise. I think there's huge opportunity there.
There's a girl in our community doing it, Joanna, in Dunfermline, actually, and she's doing really well. Polish girl. She's got a couple of commercial residents. She's actually spoke at the Scottish Property Podcast Network events in Dundee. I think maybe she's coming up and speaking in Edinburgh as well. But she's starting up her own estate agency, almost like self-employed, as a bit on the side as well. And she's flying. Like she's building up that brand quickly.
And you don't actually need that much to replace like a decent income.
If you're not got much overheads and not much staff, sell a few properties a month, and you've got your fee, haven't you?
Absolutely. And I mean, I know there's loads of models out there like Keller Williams and all the rest that we had Evelyn on, but I think for me it is about sort of building that community as well. Of if I started it, and I hopefully will next year in 2026. There will be like huge emphasis on training and building that community and helping each other out and helping each other grow. So whether it's like estate agents dotted around the country, everybody comes together, and then there's that huge focus on, it's got to be a huge focus on marketing, building a personal brand. For me, that's the number one. And I believe that through doing this podcast for the last 6 years, we've built a decent personal brand. I also think people now, they're not going to be like, see, when you go on Google and you're researching stuff and you're all over the place, you're here, there and everywhere checking different people's websites, that's not going to no longer going to be a thing. People are going to go on ChatGPT and say, who's my best agent in the local area? give me the top one.
But how will they be ranked then? Will they not be ranked through your Google?
No, because they'll be taking it from everywhere. So they'll be taking it from like YouTube, they'll be taking it from Instagram, all the social media platforms. So if you know how to build a good social presence online over every platform, you're going to show up. I mean, if you type in at the moment, ChatGPT, who's the biggest property influencers in Scotland? Me and you pop up, do you know what I mean? But that's only because we've been so consistent over the last 6 years on social media. There's probably...
You're a property educator.
There's probably bigger names out there, mate, let's face it. But they're not coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point, yeah.
So things like that, I think that's where people need the support. And that's where I'll go with it. And I think that's where people could really do...
That sounds exciting.
Do some damage. We'll get on to your business in a second, Stephen. But just a wee bit about... Well, since we're on it...
Yeah, recap your 2025. You've had some decent growth. You've been bringing in your members of staff, haven't you?
We started out... It's been slow, to be honest with you, on the lettings. It doesn't happen quick in lettings. There's that many letting agencies out there, obviously. There's a lot of competition. Most of them are actually... You hear them come on and complain that they're losing landlords left, right and centre. And they're actually struggling. But because we kind of positioned ourselves like with the investor market, people that are building portfolios and the rest of it, we're actually doing all right and with steady growth.
Do you think this will be the letting agents that will stay? I mean, we've spoken about this before, even had John Blackwood on the podcast a few weeks ago. And, you know, every guest we have on board are buying in a limited company. Yeah. It's the new agents. It's the new young team. It's the you and Duddins that are building a couple on it. The older landlords are bailing out. If those letting agents are focused on the accidental... landlord,
I know they're dead.
They're
finished.
Are they going to? Do you think they're going to evolve and
no
start doing
like high street agents as well? Yeah. Absolutely, like end of the roads. Do you know what I mean? So like you and Dudding actually put a post up yesterday, and I seen it, and he was like, the average age of a landlord's like 60 or something like that. But we know this is why I love the podcast as well, because we're getting the new life, the new breed, if you like, the new breed of landlords, investors in. I know nobody likes the term landlords.
Because they're on social media, they're putting themselves out there, they're building a personal brand, they're growing their business, they're doing it in this modern
and they're
age.
The ones that are buying up the portfolios and the tired stock, like yourself. Like you did it with Aberdeen.
But they're not, what I like about it as well is, and this is why I think you're in the right position for it, because they're not buying in the handful that people were buying historically. Oh, that landlord and the traditional letting agent in the high street's got the biggest landlord they'll have a handful of properties. Yeah. Whereas you've got, you know, investors that are coming on board that are buying portfolios that are scaling up at a young age. They're learning how to creatively finance their portfolio. They're not just being, I must save up a 25% deposit, put it down, wait 5 or 6 years, get the next one. These guys are scaling up rapidly. So I think you position yourself right to attract investors that will have more stock than...
Absolutely, and that's why I love the networking events as well, because you're actually seeing real life experiences. Like every month people are coming back and talking about actually how they're progressing. Obviously my passion has been the business, and I've put my investing to the side, as people are well know by now if you listen to the podcast. So on the lettings, I think we built it by about 51 units over the year, which doesn't sound like a huge amount, but remember that's organic growth. That's not that's not paid advertising.
It's not 20-25% growth though, isn't it?
Aye, so it's, you know, it's not bad considering it's just like organic. But, you know, if I wanted to really grow stronger, then I think I would need to put money into paid advertising, also maybe acquisition as well. So looking at other smaller agencies to buy up
into your system.
Aye, so that's possibly something that I'm thinking about as well. You know what it's like, mate? We have all these ideas and it's executing them. I think we're probably both the same.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mean, I suppose you're sitting on the pot of cash there as well, since you've not been investing as much the last few years. So would that be something that you would consider?
Yeah, well, I actually look back at the episode we did at the start of this year, and we set our goals. And part of the goals was I was going to buy this commercial property with the SAS pension money that's sitting there. So that hasn't happened. I was close. We had an offer agreed on a building. I told you about this already. 23,000 square foot, massive building.
Next one big.
We're going to do it as a CMO, like a business centre sort of thing. It was actually, shout out to Jerry Alexander actually, because he gave me 10 minutes of his time on a phone call. Probably
it's a free strategy call.
Yeah, free strategy. No, he didn't try and upsell me. He didn't, to be fair to him. And he said, Nick, you do know that like it is very different from residential. You know, I'm going in there thinking, lick of paint, you know, we've tart up, new carpets, I'll have this rented out. You know, he's like,
£900.
Yeah, you need to like look at 25, I think it was like £25 a square foot or something like that. And then shout out to Chris and Andy as well. So went to visit Brightstone Spaces up in Falkirk, and they brought up their numbers as well on their Falkirk business centre. And then I went back to the table and did some numbers, and I was like, see if I did like a refurb on this 23,000 square foot. By the way, I was doing it with somebody else as well. I won't mention the name, but there was two of us going in. But then we did our figures on the refurb, and it was going to be like at least $500,000, you know, and that was like, where was that money come from? Do you know what I mean? Because we could have bought the building cash. We thought, this is 23,000 square foot. We are getting this for a steal.
It was the renovation costs at the back.
Renovation costs, and you know, like to be able to fill a building of that size with small spaces, because the demand for the commercial units for these spaces is in small spaces. That's another thing that I learned from Chris when we went to see Brightstone. They said like our smaller spaces, like 200, I think it was like 200 square foot or something like that. They're the ones that no bother at all.
Yeah.
Like the bigger ones struggle with. So part of our strategy was, we'll just let out like one whole floor, get rid of that. But then we start speaking to like other local agents. We're like, there's no tenants for that.
Demand for it,
Like that would lie empty. Then you've got the rates liability. So the rates, I think you get 3 months exemption or something like that. Then rates going to hit you, and the rates were big. And then there's all this talk, I don't know if you've seen it at the moment online, all this talk about rates are getting reassessed
they're going
on buildings and that. There's people on like LinkedIn saying like the rates have like fucking doubled and all the rest of it.
That's going to kill the high.
So I was like that.
So easy. Shut the bed.
Yeah, pulled out. You're probably looking at me like that. Fucking typical Nick.
I did something similar at the start of the year. I was at the end of last year on a 34,000 square foot unit, and the guy had planning permission for the ground floor. So it used to be rented to the Bank of Scotland, so massive spaces, massive office spaces. But he'd got change of use for the top floor to be used as gym and health and fitness. And I was like, perfect. I've got lots of people I can find tenants for that. And the downstairs was actually planning to convert it into, like, take out the windows, and it was making it into these garage doors. Yeah. And it was like 11 small, like, 2,000 square foot little units that they fly off the shelf as well. So I was like, oh, this might be quite good. But I shut the bed a bit as well. And Jerry went and had a walk around with the project with me, and I'm like, but so you'll just be putting up, brick partitions here, and he's like, you need to get services into each of the 11 units downstairs, and then you're getting the drains in, and then we're looking at the cost, and it was like, it's going to be £750,000. I'm like, I thought I could have done it for 200 grand. He's like, no.
Stuff that you're just not thinking about.
So it's quite a lesson learned as well.
I know, well, that's it. So obviously, just wrapping up my business then, obviously to continue the growth, we'll probably need to just hire somebody else now as well, because we're maxed out.
Did you hire 2 this year?
I think it was 1. It felt like 2 because we lost one. One left. So yeah, no, it was only 1. So it's slow growth, but it's good. It's a good business, and I'm seeing up more and more people like looking at lettings agencies, and they're actually quite valuable for selling on as well. Yeah, because you've got that recurring income.
It's interesting because obviously we brought our lettings in-house at the end of last year, so this has been the first year we've kind of pulled it in, and I've always been obviously against it, self-managing, bringing it in. It's like put a letting agent, forget about it. But when it came to that scale, especially the Aberdeen stock, it made sense to have our own staff, our own office, our own staff, our own systems. And
so you got a name for that now? Apex,
yeah,
is it?
Apex Property Management. We're not managing anybody's properties.
You're not. You're still doing your own.
Still doing just their own. I mean, I keep having the conversations with you, and I keep flirting with the idea of it. But do you know what? I wouldn't be a normal letting agent. I wouldn't take on somebody with 1 properties, 2 properties. I'd be okay, you've got 20, 30, 40 properties. Do you want this managed properly, like with like almost owner managed? Then I'd maybe consider that. But apart from that, I was like, I don't think I would want to do it. But I'll always say I actually really enjoyed it because it's quite easy to systemize and process, driven everything with processes, which I actually really enjoyed, rather than creating a job for yourself. So actually, we've got a great member of staff, 2 members of staff in Aberdeen, one that takes care of the lettings coordinator, and one that deals with the maintenance full-time. Van does all the maintenance, so we keep the costs down. And actually, on hindsight, on reflection of it this year, since it's now been systemised, processed, I'll probably spend less time in the portfolio now than I did when it was actually managed by an agent. because when an agent's phoning me repairs and maintenance and it's expensive, and I've then got to go and try and find somebody that can bring the cost in cheaper, whereas we've just got our own team that's just going and doing the repairs, and sometimes they'll get subcontracted out to a plumber and heating engineer or an electrician, but it's they're dealing with, they don't need to ask for my permission because they've got the best interests at heart for me to go and get the best costs, obviously, and pull it in. So I actually quite enjoyed that part of it.
Focusing on your business then, 2025, let me ask you, where's most of your time been spent trying to grow? Because you've got so many things going on.
I didn't realise that until I brought on a couple of members of staff recently, and it's like trying to give like an overview of the businesses, going, what the fuck am I working on?
So what, just for listeners, obviously like, I'm quite straightforward, I've just got a letting agency. What about you, so people know exactly what you've got?
The property portfolio that's spread between my own one and the one I've got with Sam, and obviously then that was managed. We created Apex to do a bit of sourcing inside it as and when Sam finds them and trades them on, and obviously it manages the properties in Aberdeen. So we've got our staff in that. Then I've got This Is Property, which is the training company, and I've got TIW Network, which is the network.
So This Is Property, your training company, that's really your baby, isn't it?
That's my job. I see that as my job. That's what I'm passionate about now. That's what I've been passionate about.
Is that where most of your time's spent then, doing calls to potential clients and obviously the training,
mentoring the people,
the actual workshops?
Yeah, put a bit of time and effort into that this year. It's been quite interesting because I always go through spells with the property business itself. Like I've brought one this year. No. Investments. But
buy to let?
Yeah, but flips, we sold Errol Flip at the start of the year. So I'll always go through stages of going all in on buy to lets or all in investments. And then it's like, oh shit, I've kind of created a bit of a mess there, need some capital back in. Then I'll go, right, let's go and find flips. So we did the Errol Flip, finished that at the start of the year and sold that. We've got the 3 cottages in Dunfermline, finished them. These sales are all going through. I won't disclose the numbers yet.
Good.
Until they go through, but they'll go
Things
through.
Things are happening there though.
2026, but it's interesting how you just go through these little change.
But for you, it's important for you to stand out because there's obviously loads of trainers, mentors, education companies, but for you, it's important, I know, isn't it, to stand out from the rest by being that guy that's actively doing property.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people can learn from somebody who's actually doing it.
Yeah. And I'll still sell some off in the portfolio and acquire better assets. Like I'll always be active in some way, shape or form in the property business. It's what I enjoy. It's what I love doing. It's addictive for me. Like
what about the team, staff? You've got somebody on just recently, haven't you?
They've been
social media and that.
It's been good to try and grow the team this year and focus on the systems, the processes. I spent a lot of time inside This Is Property trying to obviously created kind of like a boardroom in our CMO building.
That's cool.
So I kind of created This Is Property's own little space. It's got 6-7 chairs and a nice big desk, and obviously I've got my smart TV.
You feel
screen.
Like Alan Sugar there.
I'm like, yes.
At the Apprentice sitting at the top of the table. Like.
So that's been good fun doing that. Taking it a little bit more seriously, like it feels like a proper business now as well.
See, like what's the kind of feeling though, right? So obviously it must be rewarding when you get folk coming through and then you see them doing good stuff and big stuff and all that. That must be a huge buzz, right?
Yeah.
Because they're taking the information, implementing, taking the action.
I love that.
That must be amazing. But I
take it personally when people don't.
What about when they don't? Is it like, fuckers, man, why are they not doing it? Like, there's obviously that's out of your control.
It is, but I still hold myself accountable to it. I'm just like, why? Like something's not clicked with you. Why? Like, what have you not done? Why have you not pushed it? What have you not seen that's right? Do you know the ones that I'm not going to name names, obviously?
No.
But do you know the ones that I find are the struggle? Because it's quite interesting to see people from all walks of life come through it. Quite a lot of teachers have came through this year.
Really?
Aye, a lot of teachers.
There's loads of teachers leaving.
They're leaving the industry.
Such a difficult job. Obviously, my wife's a teacher.
I actually felt like I felt really bad because I was trying to explain obviously the numbers and breaking down all the costs and working out what you can pay for it. And there was a high school maths teacher who was on one a few months ago and he just wasn't getting it. And I'm like, am I fucking explaining this wrong? Like, because you're a maths teacher. He's like, no, you're explaining it right. It's just, I can't get my head around like this. So it was interesting. There's a lot of teachers. I think the ones that don't do well or that don't take action are estate agents.
Really?
Aye. I don't know what it is. I think estate agents have got their mind block that we're trying to get, we're trying to sell a property for our clients at home report value or above. So if I'm saying to you, you're looking for this at 35% discount to stack up your numbers, they just can't get around their heads to even offer it. And even when you look at like a creative solution around like, why don't you offer your client assisted sale that benefits both? They can't seem to kind of get rid of their old black and white way of thinking that's maybe ingrained in them. So I find that's quite frustrating.
And the ones that do become a success, is there any common traits in them that you see? Is it like risk taking?
I don't know actually, because it was really good, because obviously we put together the award ceremony for TIW Network, and I had nothing to do with it. We put it out to like independent, everyone voted for the people, investors of the year, deal of the year, all that kind of stuff. And then
so it wasn't one of those fake awards ceremonies where you actually, whoever pays the most for the table wins the prize.
Whole community voted on it, and then once we did it, we put an independent like panel of judges together to actually, and then they submitted what their evidence was on the deal and what they've done. And it was really, I felt quite emotional. I wasn't there because I was in Lapland with Maya, but I felt quite emotional when I saw the people that were nominated, and most of them were like, this is property. People that came through that, especially for the new investor of the year, like Wally Thompson I mentioned earlier on. But one of the guys, the guy that won it, he done the workshop back in May or June, and he's already got 23 properties in his portfolio. And to see somebody take that much action is just phenomenal. And I look back at that, I try and like reassess it and look like who's in that group, because there's quite a few in that group that've done a bit of action. I'm like, well, how did I teach it? What did I say it in a certain way?
Yeah.
Did I put something across in a way that made that group
what's the
succeed?
difference? Like, yeah.
I find that really fascinating. Obviously, I think that's like for me, it's always a bone of contention to try and improve and get better at that.
I mean, obviously having like £6 million from the sales business would help me.
Well, for Willie, no, wasn't he? Willie, they got 23.
I just made that number up actually. Willie, sorry mate. I know he was turning over.
He was turning over 6. I don't know what the sale was.
Don't know what he didn't say what he sold it was. But no, actually, that's a laugh, because I know Willie came on the podcast and actually said, or he said at some point he was determined not to use that
money
to his advantage, that sale from the business. He wanted to do it from scratch.
Yeah, he must have got it from scratch, which is really admirable when you've got that money sitting there.
And obviously you can see he's no shy about hard graft as well.
He's going to graft. He's going to graft and put in the effort. He'll do well. He will. And I do enjoy this part of it. Like Sam was at a networking event. I think it was with John Morris and Lewis the other week there. And they're speaking to a solicitor, and they were saying, oh, you guys have got the ones that got the cottages, and they were saying about the businesses, and my business partner's got the training. And the solicitor done the usual thing that everyone talks about training. But how's he qualified? Is he qualified to teach? And it was like questioning my integrity to teach. And I was like, well, actually, this is what stands me in better stead than fucking anyone else doing it. Because one, I'm doing property, but I'm a firm believer as well that people that can do it often can't teach it, because it does take a different skill set. But I've also been teaching martial arts since I was probably 14 or 15. Like it took me 19 years to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've got guys that are now coming through that have been with me for 10 years that have now got it. So, go to your university, spend 5 years getting a law degree. It takes longer to do what I fucking achieve, and I can pass on knowledge better. So I do take that responsibility like quite seriously. People are paying me money to come in and sit and spend the week with me. I want to be able to figure out how. Like, there's a couple of penny drop moments that I love when people get it, and I'll say it in different ways until I see that everyone just goes this light bulb moment going on. Like, here's how we scale a buy-to-let portfolio. Here's how we do it on your own money. And there's little details in the caveats of doing it that you're just like, you want them to just go, that's it.
How do you pivot and adapt to obviously the change in AI? And now that like I could probably go and chat GPT and say, build me a property course, mentorship course, and tell me everything I need to know about scaling a portfolio.
Maybe try and do that. There's my new content for 2026.
Excellent. Because for me, I'm getting that as well. David Hutton came in, like estate agents will be gone. So you've got to try and adapt to this changing market, aren't you?
Yeah, all the time. But I'm putting it from 4 days this year to 5 days next year, and I'm bringing guys like I looked for people to bring in service accommodation, because as much as a strategy that I've dipped my toe in and I've got a few, I just don't see myself as an expert, and I would hate to be that person that stands there trying to teach about a strategy that I don't know every single part of it. So I partnered with Scott McFarlane for Retro Fit Properties that came on the podcast.
So it's the first-hand experience, I think, for me. See, this, obviously the information's out there, right? Yeah. But for me, like, I think, I'm just trying to big you up again, I want to see, if I'm going spending time and surround myself with the right people that have actually done where I want to get to, I think that's the kind of difference. And then that kind of accountability and that constant support as well.
I think there's that, but there's also, there's stuff that you can't say online. You know, there's stuff that I won't say on the podcast, I won't say on Instagram, I won't say on a story, because I'm like,
get in trouble.
Colouring outside the lines a lot.
I'll say it for you. Right, guys, listen up.
He fucking does this. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, there is ways that you how do you get your valuation the way you want it to be? How do you get your end value out of it? How do you get
the secrets?
The bits that you're like, I can't put this out there because people will be like, oh, that's mortgage fraud, or you're doing that. Like,
so you just admitted it.
But do you know what I mean? Like, they'll try and call it something that it's not. So I was like, so I kind of keep that. Like, if you're spending the time with a closed group of people that you can divulge that information. How did you do that? How did you get into that problem? Well, I got in this. It's maybe not the right way of doing it, but guess what? We're in the do to find that this is not an easy industry to be in. So,
mate. And what's the growth, or what's the plans for 2026 then?
So I'm gonna, now that I've got the training.
You want to split it up then? Do you want to split it up into?
Yeah, the Apex. I'm not managing properties, but see if we come to the end of 2026 and now I say I've got properties under management, you can hold me accountable to it. Like you said you wouldn't do it. It's funny actually, because Chris DL just joined the group there, and he's really good for his information. He'll send people on. I can't remember what someone asked him for. It might have been insurance, and he just sent his portfolio schedule in the group. And when I clicked on it, I was like, he's got a rake in Aberdeen. I was like, maybe we should go and manage his properties in Aberdeen. But no, I won't. I am not doing it. So that improve the efficiency of that, and make sure that we're managing the portfolio slick. It's, the voids are down as low as they can possibly be. Maintenance costs are at a level. So keep an eye on that, which is
making any money out of it yet? It's all getting ploughed back into
refurbs. But I'm a fucking nightmare with this though, with the portfolio, and I'm the exact opposite from Sam, because we've got a block of 8 that we got about 5 years ago, and we've refurbed them one at a time as they've been vacant. And the carpets were a state in the communal hall, and they needed paint and all this kind of stuff, and there was tiles on the floor, and I'm just like, replace them. Like, we've now the last one got a mini refurb because Mir took it, so we're like, right, do this. And then the intercom, one of them was broken, but it was like an intercom that was maybe 25-year-old when it was refurb, replaced the whole intercom, all the sets throughout the whole building. So like, Sam went into like the other week and he's like, man, that's phenomenal, like, that building. And you go in and it's like night and day, freshly painted hall, stairs, the carpets have been done, the tiles all removed. So I'll spend money on it continuously, because the way I'm looking at it is like, they're assets. We want these assets to be good quality assets, not just crap that people will just let out. So yeah, I'll probably not make money off property for a very, very long time in my own portfolio. So I reinvest in it, keeping them going. The only one I've got on the go at the moment is the service accommodation unit that I'll start in 2026. Purchased it a couple of weeks ago there. Start December, I think it was, or the end of November. I'll go through planning. There's an SA unit at the back I'll do, and there's one at the front that I'll do. So I'm going to try and dip my toes a wee bit more into that strategy as well, and hopefully, I like the idea of having some SA units that I can utilise as more a lifestyle business. Like, if there's ones in Inverness and I'm like, oh, let's fucking go to Inverness because I love Inverness, or up the Highlands, there's a cottage up there that I can go, okay, so it's empty for that weekend.
Did you get the private money for that, by the way? Because I never got back to you.
Nah, I had to use more money. Do you know what? Somebody said this to me the other day, and I said, I was on a call for a workshop sale, and he says, he's obviously no money. I says, mate, I'll share something with you. I said, I've just used my own money for the first time in property like last week. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I had to just buy it cash because Nick wouldn't give me the cash.
See, when you listen, because you are very much like, you are very different from me in terms of you're just quite gung-ho, just go for it. Whereas I'm like, I overthink.
Right.
And I think that's obviously I know my downfalls, so I do overthink. I think it has come with age, because 20 years ago, I was quite a different person.
That's even make a good partner, mate. I create the chaos and you're quite pulled back.
No, that's it. And obviously that comes with having responsibility for 3 young kids as well, do you know what I mean? And there's that kind of safety aspect where you're just not prepared to take kind of the bigger risks.
Do say that when you start building wealth, though, you start getting more protective of it, and how risk averse you are to try and build it. When it sits there, you're like, well, I want to now protect this now. And but it does become a point where, you're actually stalling your growth because stuff's just not happening. So the inflation, I taught my inflation the other night.
Eroding the wealth.
And I said to her to repeat it back to me because I thought she wasn't really listening. And I don't think I really understood inflation until a few years ago, to be honest. Like, don't think you really know until you start got some money and you start creating some wealth, and you're like, what is inflation? And you obviously see how much inflation's went in the last 3-4 years. So I said to Maya, we were getting pizzas for Kelly's birthday on Tuesday, and there were Domino's pizzas were a tenner, like a deal for large pizzas. And I says, do you know what, Maya? I was like, we're talking about money. I can't remember got on the subject. And I goes, I'll explain. Do you know what inflation is? She's like, no, I'll explain it to you. If you had £100 right now, it'd buy you 10 pizzas. But if you kept that £100 in the bank, and the time you're 20, and pizzas will be £20, it's only going to buy you 5 pizzas. And she got it.
Oh, yeah, that's
and I'm
like, explain.
Holy shit, I've just explained what inflation was to a 9-year-old, and she understood it.
That's cool.
Is that why you shouldn't save money, invest money? So I'm like, I'm going to get Maya to explain inflation to you, mate.
Yeah, so not only, like, you know, if say you were getting 10% on 100 grand or something like that, you know, lending it out or something like that.
At least it's been inflation.
Not only you're not getting that 10%, you're actually getting, you know, eroding it by 3 or 4%, whatever inflation is at the moment as well.
and this is what I think we've been getting lied to for the last 3-4 years, because I started looking at some stuff from 4 or 5 years ago, and you look at the prices. Like my haircut's now 35 quid. It was 8 or 9 quid before COVID.
Aye.
So that's not 3% rise. And there's quite a few examples where I've looked at things and I'm like, inflation's been a lot more than when we were getting told.
Costs of running a business. That's one of the challenges I found, you know, like obviously costs of everything, all our software systems have gone right up. And for us, like we can't really change the percentage, but the only way we can make more income really is by taking on more properties and by upping the rents for landlords. So that's something we do now. Try and write that into our annual kind of reviews for landlords.
So they get like annual rises.
Annual rise, in line with inflation usually at the moment, because you don't want to get too high because that disrupts the tenants.
I think that's going to be the way that we'll
you've got to, man.
Going forward.
You've got to.
Yeah.
And then obviously the tax as well. We're now talking about looking at the tax we pay now as a business. So you're 25% corporation tax, and now we're up to 35% dividend tax as well. 60% tax.
That's massive.
You know, because like I was like trying to keep myself in that lower rate tax, but you know, you think to yourself, oh yeah, if I can just keep myself under the 40 grand or whatever, that's great. I can lead a decent lifestyle, whatever. Get, you know, Lisa maximise her allowances as well.
You can.
But that's now. That's not giving you 2 nice family holidays a year, living a good lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? It's like you need to go into that high rate tax, and then you're paying. And that's 60% we're paying now as business owners.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
And I'm always really excited about trying to be creative with tax, obviously, and what anything I can expense with the business I will, to try and make sure you don't need to pull as much out personally now that the dividends went up even more.
Oh, we'll not go there, mate. We'll change the conversation topic.
Okay, shut down.
So back to the goals. Just wrapping up. So
yeah, park the portfolio efficiencies, make it more efficient. If I can sell off some of the stock that I don't quite like, I would. This is property I kind of want to do workshops running from. I've set myself a goal to do one from February all the way to October, once a month. So that's more than I did last year.
And how many people would you
that's get? 6 people on each one. So I'm not really, I'll get criticised by this, by not thinking big, and I'm small groups and only a handful of time a year. I'm going to go in 9 times a year.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't really
criticised by who?
I don't.
You know what you want out of life.
I don't want a massively busy life. I'm happy doing smaller groups because people are getting results from it.
Yeah, you're not trying to compete with Samuel Leeds or something.
Yeah, I'm not. Unfortunately, I don't think that big. I wish I did come sometimes, and I wanted to.
But that's like me as well. I'm quite happy the way things are going. People are saying, "Oh, you don't know about any investment property for a while," you know, like.
But you've already got them.
I'll roll it into, I've got a decent buy-to-let portfolio. Yeah. I've got a decent business. It's working well for me. You know, for us, it's about, my goals, personal goals really are do more trips with family. Like I love like travel. So, although this year we're doing Disney because.
Oh, you've caved.
Well, it's like, it'll probably be our last year for a while because eldest is 14 now. So he's like, that's probably about, that'll be about a 16 grand holiday. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then, like last year we went to South Africa. This year we want to do another big one as well. Japan or Brazil or something. Give them
good culture.
Something like that. So that's personal goals. Yeah. The estate agency is definitely at the forefront of my mind. Try to launch that. It'll probably be in the summertime. And doing more video content for YouTube around the podcast and the reality refurbs. I love going out and meeting people. Yeah. Like, I really love going out and meeting people at their projects and stuff. Yeah. So I want to try and do more. It's time sucking. It is. It's really But
it's finding stuff you enjoy doing in the business as well.
Aye.
If you can outsource the stuff that you don't enjoy doing and let the processes and the staff take care of the day to day.
And then the commercial building, that will roll into maybe the third year of goal setting.
26 year mate, for it.
This could be it, man. But speaking to Jerry, he raised another good point, right? So this building was a big sort of 1970s flat roof ex-council building. He's like, do you really want something like that? It's not really a generational property.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking more kind of Victorian sandstone townhouse.
Beautiful.
Something that's going to stand the test of time, something that you're going to be able to pass on, and it's going to hold its value as well. So that's changed my thinking a wee bit on that.
That's a good point, actually. Aye.
So I probably owe him, like, see if that 10-minute call, I probably owe him about $5,000 now.
That's
probably going to invoice me.
Do you know what? I think you might get good opportunities in 2026 in the commercial space because, you know, the rate's going up.
Aye.
If the bigger businesses that, you know, people are working from home and aren't going back into working from offices full time, they'll need smaller spaces. So these bigger spaces that you can carve up into smaller spaces and avoid the rateable values, I think you'll get some good deals in there.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any personal goals, by the way?
Yeah, health and fitness wise is probably the top one.
Yeah.
I've been kind of on that since I turned approaching 40, so I want to keep going with these wee tweaks, cleaning the diet up, getting a bit healthier. I hate jumping on trends, and if there are trends come up, I always avoid it on purpose. Like, see, when people like football, I probably hate football because everyone likes it. Like, I'm such a weird fucking person like that. So, see, when High Rocks came up, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. See, now I actually fancy doing one, so I might try and do one this year.
Don't take your top off, please.
Nah, I'm going to take my top off. Remember when we were in Dubai and there was one going on, and it was like every property investor that was like into their fitness is like, they're all on their social media feed with their top off and their fucking strap around their chest and stuff like that. It's like, Jesus, it must be part and parcel of doing a High Rocks, go and get your top off.
Lastly, predictions. So we listened back. I don't think you actually gave your prediction back at the start of 2025.
I thought I said a flat.
Right. Okay, so I said up 5% property prices. So the latest data that we have, so I'm going to read you out the UK land registry, Scottish land registry data, right? 5.3%.
Oh.
Thank you.
This is the first time you've been right on this with predictions.
So obviously that is land registry data, and that was only up to November. So it could change by the time you get December's in. That's lags
a little bit, and market slows down in December.
The Zoopla data up 2.7% across Scotland. What's your predictions for 2026?
I'm predicting a crash now.
Whoa.
Not maybe not a crash, maybe that's the wrong word, but I just feel like everything's inflated. You know, everything with AI, the stock market's inflated, government borrowing's fucking hugely inflated. Actually, I thought
just go all out there. Predict a crash.
Mate, I'm going to go a crash. I thought property prices was
what's a crash to you? Drop by how
15,
much percent?
20%.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm wondering? Because I thought, I can't, because we've got such a supply and demand issue right now. We're in a housing emergency. There's not enough stock. But then, interesting enough, you and I were speaking about, if you ever moved house again, what would the house be? And we couldn't afford the houses that we would both move to because we don't take enough at the company. So us with successful enough businesses and decent enough salaries couldn't afford the next step in the ladder. Now, these properties I just put on the market that are sold, they stuck a little bit, but having a look at the people that were coming to buy them, and I thought 2-bedroom houses in Dunfermline, these are first-time buyer houses, couple buyers, downsizers. But the first-time buyers couldn't afford it because you're only getting 4.5 times your affordability, and these properties at the 240 grand mark, people need to be on a better salary, and salaries haven't went up as much. So I was looking at this going, this is where the crash maybe come in, where the property prices have just went up too much that wages can't afford it. Maybe not even wages, but the utility costs were making them unaffordable as well.
So I think that interest rates are continuing to drop. So I think the only thing that could cause the crash is for interest rates to spike up again. So for me, it's going to be pretty much low growth. I would say 2 to 3%.
Right, I think on the property prices in Scotland, I'm going to go -5 then for the year.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a bit of a drop.
Nice one. Let's go for it and see how we get on. Right, and then lastly, we'll announce our winner of our competition. Do you want to announce the winner? Because I believe you know her.
Yeah, so actually it was this person that nominated that made us actually do the competition in the first place, because she was the first one to tag us.
Oh, nice. Well, she obviously knew she had listened loads.
She's listened loads. She's like, I'm putting this out there. So yeah, we're announcing the winner, Michaela Telford. she streamed 4,890 minutes of the Scottish Property Podcast, so she's a top.
Do you know that equates to about 80 hours, which is about 3 days? So imagine spending...
I don't think Lisa's listened to you that long.
Imagine spending 3 days, 3 full days in a room, us two.
Hats off. Yeah, play. There was, do you know what?
Get her on the podcast.
She's coming on the podcast. Like, that's it. So she wins. Unfortunately, she's winning. I offered my 2-day property introduction thing that I'm going to be doing in January.
She's not been on it already?
She's already been on it.
All right, okay. So give that to somebody else.
So give that
to Alex Walker for YouTube.
Alex, you can come on. So there's one in Glasgow, one in Dunfermline in January. I'll be giving it to someone. Do you know what? First person to reach out and says, give it to me. I'll give it to you. She's also getting a year's free subscription or membership to the network events. So she goes to Edinburgh, I believe, but hopefully she'll come to the Glasgow one as well and the Dundee one. And I've got a bottle of champagne for her as well. So I was invited to a night at Porcelain Rosa opening their new section in Edinburgh, and I put the business card in and won it. So I said that to your joke. I got a bottle of champagne away as well.
Don't say the listeners were just passing on prizes. No, we went out and hand selected that bottle of champagne.
Yeah, but I have from a gift.
Right, guys, listen. All that remains from us to be said is that a huge thank you to listeners. Yeah. You guys have been absolutely amazing throughout the whole year, supporting us, sharing screenshots of the episodes through your Instagrams, and we'll always try and support you as well and reshare them so that you can build your community as well.
Absolutely. We love the fact we're an impartial platform. Anyone can come on, share your story, share some value, share whatever you've been up to. We love hearing people's stories. So yeah, thank you very much. Keep sharing,
building. I think we were up over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube last year, so that platform's grown as well. And we can only get bigger and better. And yeah, huge thanks to everybody. And this is going out on the 29th of December. So hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope you have a fantastic 2026. Go and smash it.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate it.